Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're a dive professional in the US, you're going to want to pay close attention. We are about to dive deep into some numbers that might just completely change how you think about your business and your local market. So let's just cut right to the chase with a big question. Do you really truly believe that to run a successful, profitable dive shop, you've got to have an ocean view? You need to be right there on the coast? Let's find out. All right, but before we can bust any myths, we've got to get the lay of the land. It's super important to understand the overall health of the US market first. So let's take a look at the big picture over the last 20 years or so. Okay, so this timeline really tells a story, doesn't it? You can see we hit a really strong peak back in 2001, almost 200,000 certs. Then, no surprise, the 2008 financial crisis hits, and we see that dip down to 153,000. But then, look, it levels out. We're at 151,000 right before the pandemic. Then, of course, 2020 was a huge hit, dropping us to 87,000. But the important part is that bounce back. We're already up to 128,000 by 2023. You know, what this really shows me is that our industry is tough. It's resilient. When you take out these massive, once-in-a-generation global events, the US dive market has a really steady, reliable pulse. But that's just the national story. The stuff that's going to blow your mind is what happens when we start zooming in. So get ready, because this is where everything you thought you knew gets flipped on its head. We're about to look at where divers are actually getting certified, but on a per-person basis. And I promise you, the answer is not what you're expecting. Check this out. On the right, you've got Florida, the dive capital of the US, right? And they're doing a very respectable 715 certifications for every million people. But look to the left. Utah, landlocked Utah, is cranking out 1,180 certs per million. And Colorado, also miles and miles from any ocean, is at 729. You heard that right. The data shows that on a per capita basis, Utah and Colorado are minting more divers than Florida. I mean, this just hammers the point home, doesn't it? For every single one of you running a shop in a landlocked state, this should be your new mantra. Write it down, put it on the wall. Access to water is not everything. So you're probably asking, okay, how is this even possible? It seems to defy logic. Well, it all comes down to a dynamic in our industry that we all kind of know about, but maybe don't fully appreciate just how powerful it is. And that is the vacation certification factor. So let's be crystal clear on what we're talking about here. It's super simple. Vacation certification is just what happens when people decide to learn to dive while they're on a trip. You know, they do their checkout dives in Cozumel or Bonaire, not in the local quarry back home. And look, this isn't just a hunch. It's not a theory. The source data states it as plain as day. A huge percentage of divers get their open water certification while they're on vacation. This is a fundamental truth about how our industry works. And this right here brings us to the most important shift in mindset you can possibly make. Your potential market, your customer base. It's not defined by the quality of your local diving. Not at all. It is defined by the number of divers who live in your area. They might have gotten that C card in the Philippines, but if they live down the street from you in Denver, they are your customer. Okay, so we have this incredible insight. Now, what do we do with it? How do we actually turn this data into a stronger, more profitable business? Well, it means we have to rethink our business model. Here's the new playbook. Step 1, stop focusing so much on local diving and start focusing on the local divers, the people. Step 2, that means you have to prioritize the things they actually need from you. Great gear, amazing travel opportunities, and continuing education. And step 3, this is so crucial. You have to build a community for all those divers who got certified on vacation and now need a home. And this is where the money is, people. Your revenue streams shift. Instead of relying on low-margin open water classes, you become the go-to expert for high-margin gear. You become a travel agent, putting together these incredible group trips. You offer the advanced courses and the pool refreshers that they need before their next big adventure. And you host parties, you start a dive club, you build that loyal community. That's what keeps them coming back. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. The data is clear. It shows us that divers live everywhere. From Salt Lake City to St. Louis to Miami, they are in your town. They are your neighbors. The only question left is, what are you going to do to get them to walk through your front door?